TIFU by accidentally live streaming my entire therapy session to TikTok. So, I've been struggling with anxiety lately and finally took the plunge to start therapy. Found a great therapist online and we do video sessions. I'm not the most tech savvy person, but I managed to get Zoom working on my laptop. I even felt a little proud of myself for setting it all up. Yesterday was my second session. I was feeling particularly vulnerable and was really opening up to my therapist about some deep-seated issues. We were talking about my childhood, my insecurities, the whole shebang. I was in full-on emotional release mode. Tears were flowing in the works. It was intense, but in a good therapeutic way. About halfway through the session, my phone started buzzing like crazy. I usually keep it on silent during therapy, but it was persistent. Figuring it might be an emergency, I quickly glanced at it. My notifications were blowing up. TikTok comments, likes, new followers. Confused, I swiped down to see what was going on, and then I saw it. A notification. You are live, with a little red live icon next to it. My blood ran cold. Turns out in my tech ineptitude, I had somehow managed to accidentally start a TikTok live stream. While my therapy session was running on Zoom, I had apparently propped my phone up on my desk to keep it charged, and somehow my finger must have brushed the go live button on the TikTok app, and there I was for who knows how long, broadcasting my most private and vulnerable moments to the entire internet. My therapy session, my tears, my childhood trauma, my deepest fears, all for the viewing pleasure of random TikTok users. I frantically ended the live stream, my face burning with mortification. I muted myself on Zoom and whispered to my therapist, "Oh my God, I think I just live streamed that entire session to TikTok." She looked at me, understandably bewildered, and asked, "Are you serious?" I just nodded, feeling like I wanted to disappear into the floor. We paused the session for a few minutes while I frantically deleted the live stream. Thankfully, it hadn't been going for too long, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, but still an eternity in internet time. I checked the comments. Thankfully, most were just confused people asking what was going on. Some thought it was a skit, but a few were definitely starting to realize it was a real therapy session and were making less than supportive comments. I spent the rest of the session in a state of horrified embarrassment, trying to regain some composure. My therapist, bless her heart, was incredibly understanding and professional about it. She helped me process the shock and embarrassment, and we even managed to salvage the rest of the session, though I was definitely less open and vulnerable after that. Now I'm just praying that the TikTok algorithm buries that live stream deep in the digital abyss, and that my face doesn't become the next viral therapy meme. Lesson learned: triple check everything before starting a live stream, especially when discussing your deepest, darkest secrets. And maybe, just maybe, I need to take a tech literacy class. I'm now deeply paranoid about all my devices and considering going completely off-grid and definitely disabling live streaming on TikTok forever. Oh no, your deepest fears live streamed? That's rough, buddy, but hey, at least it's a great story for us. If you want more cringe-worthy tales, hit subscribe right now. TIFU by using my grandmother's urn as a cool vase for a first date. So I've been trying to get back into dating after a pretty rough breakup. A friend set me up with someone who seemed really great online, smart, funny, shared similar interests. We finally managed to schedule a first date at my place, casual dinner, nothing too fancy. I wanted to make a good impression, cleaned the apartment spotless, got some nice candles, even attempted to cook something vaguely impressive. Spaghetti carbonara, wish me luck. Everything was going smoothly, or so I thought. The last touch I wanted was some flowers. I didn't have a proper vase, but I remember seeing this really unique, kind of antique looking ceramic pot in my attic when I was cleaning out some old boxes a few months ago. It was a beautiful, dark, almost black color with intricate carvings, perfectly rustic and chic, I thought. I grabbed it, dusted it off, and filled it with water, then arranged the bouquet of lilies I picked up from the store. It looked amazing on my dining table, very Pinterest-worthy if I do say so myself. Date arrives, she's even prettier in person, conversation flows easily, the carbonara is surprisingly edible, things are going great, we're chatting and laughing, and she compliments the apartment, especially the flowers. "That vase is really interesting," she says, gesturing towards my rustic chic find. "It looks antique. Where did you get it?" "Oh, that old thing," I say casually, trying to play it cool. "Found it in my attic, thought it had a cool vibe." She leans in closer, examining the pot more intently. "It's really beautiful. It almost looks like... Is that an inscription?" My heart sinks. Inscription? I hadn't even noticed. I get up and peer at the pot. And there it is, etched in elegant script on the side, almost hidden by the lilies, in loving memory of Agnes Willowbrook, 1928 to 2023. Rest in peace, Grandma. My face drained of color. I suddenly realized why the pot felt so heavy, and why it had that strangely somber yet elegant feel to it. It wasn't a vase, it was my grandmother's urn. I had used my grandmother's ashes container as a flower vase for my first date. I stammered, trying to explain, my voice cracking. Oh my God, I am so sorry. That's not a vase. That's my grandmother's urn. Her eyes widened in shock, then slowly narrowed with a mixture of horror and amusement. Your grandmother's urn? She repeated slowly, as if trying to process the absurdity of it all. Silence hung in the air, thick and awkward. The romantic ambiance I was trying to create had evaporated faster than spilled wine on a hot stove. She started to giggle, then full-on laughed, tears streaming down her face. At first I was mortified, but then her laughter was so infectious, so genuine, that I started laughing too. It was either laugh or cry, and laughter seemed the slightly less mortifying option. We spent the next few minutes in hysterics, the tension completely broken. She actually thought it was the funniest, most bizarre first date story ever. We carefully moved Grandma Agnes and the lilies to a less prominent spot, and somehow the date actually recovered, and we ended up having a great evening, bonding over my monumental faux pas and the sheer ridiculousness of the situation. She even said she'd be willing to go on a second date, just to see what other disasters I might inadvertently unleash. So, TIFU, but maybe, just maybe, it was a TIFU that might actually lead somewhere, though I'm definitely buying a proper Vase and keeping Grandma Agnes far, far away from any future romantic endeavors. TIFU by accidentally ordering a mariachi band for my silent retreat. Okay, so I've been feeling incredibly stressed lately. Work is insane, life is chaotic, and my brain feels like a scrambled egg. I decided I needed a serious reset, a digital detox, a soul cleanse, the whole shebang. I booked myself into a weekend silent retreat at this beautiful, secluded monastery in the mountains. I was picturing serene landscapes, peaceful meditation, inner reflection, the sound of silence. You get the picture. Blissfully quiet solitude. Exactly what I needed. Fast forward to Friday afternoon, I arrive at the monastery, check in, and get settled into my simple, Spartan room. The retreat is starting in a few hours with an orientation session, and then silence. Glorious, blessed silence for 48 hours. I'm already feeling calmer just thinking about it. To celebrate my impending peace, I decide to order myself a celebratory burrito. Yeah, even monks need fuel, right? I pull out my phone. Yes, I know, slightly against the spirit of the retreat, but hey, pre-silence burrito is allowed, right? I open my food delivery app, find a local Mexican place that delivers to the monastery's address, surprisingly modern monks, and start browsing the menu. Burrito ordered, I put my phone away, feeling virtuous and ready for enlightenment. About an hour later, just as I'm starting to get into the Zen zone, I hear music. Not peaceful, meditative chanting music. No, this is loud, festive, unmistakably mariachi music. Confused, I peek out my window, and there they are. A full mariachi band complete with trumpets, guitars, violins, the whole shebang, setting up right in front of the monastery entrance. They're tuning their instruments, chatting loudly in Spanish, and generally creating a joyful, if slightly chaotic atmosphere. Definitely not silent retreat vibes. My brain short circuits. What in the name of inner peace is going on? I go downstairs to the reception, where a very flustered looking monk is trying to communicate with the band leader, who speaks very little English. Turns out, when I was ordering my burrito on the food delivery app, I somehow, in my burrito-induced haze, accidentally clicked on the add-ons section. And apparently, one of the add-on options offered by this particular Mexican restaurant is a live mariachi band for parties and special occasions. And in my sleep-deprived, stress-addled state, I had somehow, unknowingly, added a full mariachi band to my burrito order for my silent retreat at a monastery. The monk is trying to explain to the band leader that there's been a mistake, that they weren't actually ordered, that this is a silent retreat, that loud festive music is perhaps not entirely appropriate. The band leader, while polite, seems a little confused and slightly disappointed. They've driven all the way out to the monastery, instruments in tow, ready to serenade someone with their best tunes. I, meanwhile, am dying of embarrassment. I step forward, confessing my accidental mariachi band order to the bewildered monk and the slightly miffed band leader. The monk sighs, pinching the bridge of his nose, clearly questioning my commitment to inner peace. The band leader, however, bursts out laughing. He thinks it's hilarious. Apparently, they've never been accidentally ordered for a silent retreat before. He offers to play a few quiet meditative mariachi tunes for us as a kind of peace offering. The monk politely declines, but I can see a faint smile twitching at the corner of his lips. In the end, we managed to politely send the mariachi band on their way, with a generous tip, of course, to compensate for my epic blunder. The silence retreat officially began, thankfully, without further musical interruptions. But the image of the mariachi band setting up outside the monastery, trumpets gleaming in the afternoon sun, is forever etched in my memory. My silent retreat started with anything but silence. And I have a feeling the monks will be talking about the mariachi burrito incident for years to come. Inner peace may have to wait until next weekend. Mariachi band at a silent retreat? That's peak accidental chaos. What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever accidentally ordered? Let us know in the comments. TIFU, by accidentally supergluing my work laptop to my desk during a crucial meeting. Working from home has its perks, right? Comfort, flexibility, wearing pajama bottoms during Zoom calls, but it also has its hazards, especially when you're as clumsy and easily distracted as I am. Yesterday was a particularly hectic day. Major project deadline looming, back-to-back meetings, the usual WFH chaos. One of the meetings was especially critical, a presentation to the big boss, stakeholders, the whole shebang. My laptop, my trusty workhorse, was essential for screen sharing and running the presentation smoothly, except my laptop stand decided to stage a rebellion. It's one of those adjustable metal stands, and the hinge had gotten loose, making it wobbly and unstable. Mid-presentation rehearsal, my laptop nearly took a nosedive off my desk. Panic ensued. Desperate to fix it before the crucial meeting, I rummaged through my desk drawers for a quick solution. My eyes landed on a tube of super glue. Perfect, I thought in my infinite wisdom. Just a tiny dab to tighten the hinge, and we're good to go. Famous last words. Now I know what you're thinking. Super glue and electronics, bad idea, and you'd be absolutely right. But in my deadline-induced frenzy, rational thought went out the window. I carefully, or so I thought, applied a minuscule drop of super glue to the wobbly hinge of the laptop stand, held it in place for a few seconds, just enough to, fuse it together permanently. What I didn't realize in my haste was that the super glue had overflowed, just a tiny invisible trickle, right onto the surface of my desk and right onto the bottom of my work laptop. I placed the laptop back on the stand, feeling a smug sense of accomplishment. Problem solved, I mentally patted myself on the back. Fast forward to the crucial meeting. It's starting, everyone's joining the Zoom call, the boss is there, the pressure is on. I go to adjust my laptop screen angle slightly to get the lighting just right, and nothing. The laptop won't budge. I try again, a little harder, still nothing. It's like it's stuck, really stuck. Panic starts to set in. I try to lift the laptop off the stand. Nope, still firmly, stubbornly, immovably, but stuck. I tug a little harder, still nothing. Then horror dawns. I realize with dawning dread that the super glue hasn't just fixed the stand, it's glued my entire work laptop to my desk, permanently, solidly, irrevocably. My laptop is now one with my desk, a technological and adhesive Siamese twin, and my crucial presentation is about to begin. I'm frantically trying to detach the laptop, gently at first, then with increasing desperation and force, all while trying to maintain a semblance of calm professionalism on the Zoom call, where everyone can clearly see me wrestling with my computer like it's a recalcitrant octopus. Of course, the harder I try, the more firmly glued it becomes. I'm making increasingly frantic and desperate attempts to pry it loose, my face turning redder by the second, sweat beading on my forehead. On the Zoom call, I can see my boss raising an eyebrow, stakeholders exchanging bewildered glances. My carefully prepared presentation is now completely derailed by my laptop's sudden and inexplicable desk-based imprisonment. Eventually defeated and utterly humiliated, I had to explain the situation. Sorry everyone, technical difficulties. Seems my laptop has become permanently attached to my desk. Silence, then a few muffled coughs, and then to my utter surprise, my boss starts to laugh, a genuine, booming laugh, and then everyone else joins in. Apparently the image of me battling a superglued laptop during a crucial meeting was just too absurdly funny to resist. The meeting, needless to say, was postponed. I spent the rest of the day wrestling with my desk laptop hybrid, eventually resorting to using a hairdryer and a putty knife to painstakingly, millimeter by millimeter, separate the two. My desk now has a lovely superglue stain, and my laptop stand is still wobbly. But hey, at least I provided some unexpected comic relief to the entire company, and I learned a valuable lesson. Superglue is not always the answer, especially not when electronics and crucial meetings are involved, and maybe, just maybe, I should invest in a new, non-wobbly laptop stand, and keep the superglue far, far away from my workspace. A technological and adhesive Siamese twin. This story is pure gold, classic r/TIFU. Hope your day is less sticky than theirs. If you want more daily dose disasters, like and subscribe for more, and have a good one.